how's it going, everyone? So this right here is the Backbone controller. I'm sorry I can't do an unboxing video because I've clearly already unboxed the controller. But without further ado, so this right here is the Backbone controller. This is like this standard X input controller that has all the buttons that you expect on the Xbox controller. The ABXY buttons, which are basically like regular buttons, a little bit smaller compared to the regular controller, but it's all good. You get two analog joysticks, and yes, they both have L3 and R3 clickiness, so that's really good. You get the standardized D-pad around here, and using the D-pad, I have to say, like, this is definitely a membrane D-pad, but it does feel really nice and really rolls very well. Of course, you're going to get your start and select button right here, but you also get a capture button for capturing videos and photos, and also a Backbone button that works with the Backbone app, which I'll get into in a second. And also you have the controller has the L1 and R1, which they feel nice, and you have full analog L2 and R2 triggers. This phone is your standard X input controller for your mobile phone. You also, on the bottom of the controller, you got a 3.5mm jack, so this will work with headsets. So if you want to, say for instance, talk trash in the middle of a game or talk to your friends on Discord, you can use 3.5mm jack for that. And you also have a USB-C pass-through charging port, but that also acts as a way for you to play, use this Backbone controller on, say for instance, your PC or your Mac through this port right here. But you also apparently have to pay for a subscription for that, which I'll get into later on in this video. And also, another thing too is that the controller will come up with like these little phone clips or phone clips holders. So these are the thin phone clip holders, and when you unbox the controller, you're already going to have these standard phone clip holders right here. So these are mainly for like phones and tablets that don't have phone cases on them, which is really good. So that way you could just slide it in. Now, if you do have a phone case on your phone, which I know that majority of people do, what you could do is you could slide this out, and you can put the thinner clip on, and this will expose the USB-C port a lot more, allowing you to and make it give it like a little deeper little dip for you to fit into those majority of different phone cases and like tablet cases, so that way you won't have to take off your phone case every time that you're using your controller with the phone. So yeah, looking at this looks like it stretches out pretty far. Actually, let's test this out. I'm going to get this out, and we're just going to set this like right here. Yeah, this should be good. So I'm going to try to go for inside of it. Actually, I should move this clip inside of it out just so I can get the maximum of this. And let's see if I can get this one. This one's a little difficult. Oh, nope. There we go. Got it. All right, so now that I got both sides out, and then when I stretch this, so it looks like it can fit a device up to like 7 inches in between. So, or I will say, because this USB-C port sticks out and doesn't fold, I will say if you have anything with a bigger length of like maybe 6.5 inches, you may have a hard time using this Backbone controller with like something like a device like a tablet or something. But this is definitely made for like phones, and definitely is long enough to fit like majority of different phones. So yeah, without further ado though, we're going to get into actually like using this controller with my mobile phone. For me, because I like to use my phone case, I'm probably going to use the thinner phone clip right here. But because I have a Galaxy S22 and the phone is a little bit thinner, I think I'm actually going to go with the thicker back right here for support. So hold on a second. Here's my phone right here. So this is my Galaxy S22. I'm still in the phone case, as you can see. So just like any other mobile controller, when you insert your phone into this controller slot, what you want to do is, with the top of your phone, you want to push it out first, then you want to align it, and once it's aligned, then you close it. You will notice that the Backbone button will light up once your controller is connected. Now, usually I already have the Backbone app installed, so that's why the Backbone app kind of open up. But for you to open up the app, all you have to do is click on the Backbone button, and there you go. And this is how you get into the Backbone app. But speaking of which, actually, let me put this up on a screen for you guys to actually see all the inputs on the backbone. That's better than just the camera going right down to the phone. All right, guys, so I'm back. So now that I got my phone screen displayed on my computer, now you can look at the phone app right here. So this is the Backbone phone app right here. And the cool thing about the Backbone phone app is that it will show off like all the games that are compatible with the Backbone, which is really cool. So that way you don't have to mingle around the whole Google Play Store trying to figure out what games compatible with controller and what games are not. So it's a really cool central place for that. You also get some news, like say for instance Summer Game Fest that recently happened. This new Star Wars Hunter game that came out recently, which, oh my god, that's actually really loud. And let me just turn this volume down. But yeah, you get to see all these cool games that are for mobile phones in one location, which it does a really good job of showing off all the games that are on the controller right now. So yeah, you can see like all the highlight games. And the cool thing about this is that they were trying to make this more so like the gaming hub for your mobile phone. So as you see, I got my profile right here. There's a lot of things you can do with the Backbone app, like start a party, and for all your other friends that have Xbox Backbone controllers, you can find them a part of your friend list and then invite them as a friend. There are some features of this controller that are like you have to pay for a subscription, which is like $40 a year. Like for example, you see this Twitch logo right here. If you want to start streaming to your Twitch channel, that is a paid for feature with the Backbone Plus. Video chats is kind of like one of those things too. And also using a Backbone controller for your PC is also a feature you have to pay for with the Backbone Plus subscription, which again is $40 a year, which I do not like. So this is where you can find all your account information. You can connect your Xbox account or your Twitch account if you want to. This is where you can see all your controller and control the LED brightness of like the little circle right here. And you can also calibrate your controller and test your controller right here, so which is actually really cool. So let me just get out of here. Another cool thing you can do, the other pay for feature where you can basically play on any screen. So say for instance, when you plug in your USB-C cable to the bottom of here, you have a choice where you can make it act as an Android, Google Chrome, PC, Mac, or iPad. So this is a pay for feature. I don't know why this is a pay for feature. Honestly, I think this should be free, but yeah, it's a feature that you got to pay for. But yeah, speaking of which, that is pretty much it for the app. Let's get into some games and show you how it's like to play games on the Backbone controller. All right, guys, so here we are launching Call of Duty Mobile for Android and iOS. So the first thing that you can have noticed now is that when you have your Backbone connected, you are prompted with this option where it's saying that it does detect that you have a controller hooked up to your phone, and it's either one of the Backbone, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or Xbox. So again, one of the biggest things with this controller is that it's compatible with Call of Duty Mobile and it has native controller support. Now, I don't know why Activision made it where only the Backbone mobile controller has native support to Call of Duty and not all the other controllers that are out there on the market, but this is just to show you that, yeah, this controller has big bragging rights when it comes to being used on Call of Duty Mobile for having native controller support. So of course, when you do prop the scene, make sure the Backbone's already selected, which it should be. Then click OK, and then you can pretty much play Call of Duty Mobile on your cellular phone with the controller, which it does help you out. Now, it will you will get matchmake with other people with controllers, but that's not much of a big deal. As you can see, that playing Call of Duty Mobile with a controller, just match up with other people with controllers, and it's still a good time to have. So. Alright guys, so because I've activated the free trial for the Backbone Plus, I'm able to actually use the Backbone on my PC, which means that I can actually do a joystick accuracy test on this controller, plus an input latency test. So as you see, I have the controller right here. It's seen as an Xbox X input controller, so yep, as you see, all the buttons are working fine, but I am really curious to see how accurate these joysticks are. So without further ado, let's do a quick joystick accuracy test. All right, So it looks like I got a 4.9 on each stick. Can I knock this up to 5.0? Can I knock it? Looks like it. Yep, it looks like it's a solid error rate of 4.9 error rate for the joysticks, which is actually pretty good. That's pretty good. I have no complaints about that. Oh wait, I got it to 5.0, so that's so even with a 5.0 error rate on the joystick, this is actually pretty accurate joysticks. Yeah, this is pretty good. No complaints here. Without further ado, let's do an input latency test on this though. Alright guys, so here we are using X input tester. So as you see, I got the backbone hooked up to my PC with a wire connection. And without further ado, let's test the input latency with the wire connection for the backbone controller. Alright, a lot of 7.8, 7.9s. So okay, so this is clearly an 8 input and 8 millisecond input latency for this controller. So yeah, an average input latency of 8.22 with a polling rate of 121. So this lets me know that this controller has been set to a polling rate of 125 hertz, which gives it around an 8 millisecond input latency, which for a mobile controller is actually not bad at all. Usually mobile controllers have terrible input latency. So for 8 milliseconds, I can't complain about that. It's really decent for this backbone controller. Alright guys, so now we're going to test the capabilities of the pass-through charging using the backbone USB-C port. So as you see right here, I got this little USB digital tester, which will allow us to test to see how much voltage and how much amperage is going through the backbone to my device. So what you do is you'll take your charging cord. I can plug it into here, and I'll plug this portion into the backbone. And also I did kill my phone a little bit down, so I knocked my phone down to 65%, so that way I can actually get like a decent charge, because usually depending on your phone battery does affect how much power that that your phone pulls as far as charging. So let's see. I'm gonna plug this in. Oh, looks like I can't, or no, I can. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I am back. So I have gotten this USB-C extender, so that way this can fit in. So I'm just going to plug this in here, and this shouldn't affect the test at all. And I'm going to plug in the this into the device, and there we go. Yep, it is working. So we saw that it's now, my phone's now charging. And looking at the screen, it looks like I am getting around 9 volts of it's pulling 9 volts for as far as charging, and it currently is less than 1 amp, so it's like around 6 amps. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, and right now here we are. So it's pulling 5 volts and it's at 1.27, 1.23. So I wonder if this is the fullest capability of this, because right now I'm using my supercharging box with my USB-C to USB-C cable that's meant for like supercharging my phone. So I know that this cord is capable of pulling out 2 amps, but it looks like the most that this controller can pull out is around 5 volts, 1 amp. So yeah, there you go. That's how much charging you can get with a pass-through charging. So alright guys, so I have been using this controller for the past couple of months now, and here are my thoughts on this controller. First off, I would like to say that the build quality of this controller does feel like really good. Like the way how I hold this controller in my hands, it definitely has that premium feel to it. And it's really a good controller, really comfortable to hold in hands, and I have no like thumb discomfort, hand discomfort while playing like Call of Duty Mobile or Combat Master, PGR, any of the other mobile games that you could play with using this backbone controller. Now, it's a cool thing that this controller, it does support X input, so which means any mobile game that supports X input, you could basically use this backbone controller. Now, one of the downsides with this controller is that it doesn't support D input, or also known as like HID input. So that means like games like maybe Soundbreak and stuff, the backbone is going to have a hard time running those games because it's not really meant, it really doesn't support like D input or HID mode. So that's a bit of a bummer that you can't play all games with a Backbone, but majority of the games you can play with a Backbone controller. I also like the fact trying out the headphone jack. I did use a variety of different headphones. I have to say, like, the headphone jack port is really well. All my headphones, it sounds clear. Using the mic, a lot of the people, especially in COD Mobile, can hear me talk, even though it's a bunch of people who don't know who I am, because Call of Duty Mobile, people don't talk to each other in COD Mobile. So, and Combat Master, though, is actually really awesome to use the mic to as well. And I also want to talk about the pass-through charging. Pass-through charging is decent. Now, depending on what games you play and depending on your phone, you may notice that your phone may not charge as much. So if you're playing like a mobile game and you decide to use a pass-through charging, I'm just going to give you a heads up that it will increase the temperature of your battery and increase the temperature of your phone, which can affect not only the charging of your device, but also can affect the temperature of your phone, which can cause your phone to thermal throttle. So just be mindful if you're using the pass-through charging. Depending on what phone you have, it's better just to stop for a second, charge your phone up, and then get back into gaming. But if you have one like those gaming phones that have the internal cooling in them, then go ahead, use that pass-through charging and just game away. Now, some of the downsides with this controller, one of the things I already talked about was the fact that this controller is an X input controller, so it doesn't support HID mode or D input mode, so making this controller not compatible with all games, which is quite of a bummer. One of the second biggest thing is that they have a subscription service that locks a lot of its features behind a paywall. Like, say for instance, using the Backbone controller on your PC, for example, or like streaming onto Twitch, which honestly, when I tested it, it wasn't that great. Like, it was really bad. Like, it uses the audio from your mic rather than just use the audio from the application or mobile game that you're playing, which I don't know why it does that. It's not good. It's not good. And also all the rest of the features that they offer, I just do not see it as a good selling point. Honestly, the subscription, it's not for me. I don't see why you should buy this subscription for this controller. But with that being said, I have to say, like, with this controller, I would give this controller for $99, even though that isn't a very expensive controller. One of the biggest thing about this controller is the fact that it works on Call of Duty Mobile, but at the same time, other controllers are starting to come out for mobile that are finding ways around to work with Call of Duty Mobile, so that's not much of a bragging right anymore like it used to be. Now, this controller still is a premium quality controller and feels great in the hands and is comfortable to use. And natively, and for some people, they want that like premium feel quality controller. And even though I don't find the paid features like something worth buying, maybe you do. I mean, personally, I don't. So if I was to give the Backbone a rating from like 1 through 10, honestly, I have to be honest, I'm gonna give this controller like a 6 out of 10. For $100, it's a good controller to use. It's just that, again, I do not like the fact that some of the features are behind a paywall. And the fact of the matter is that even though, yes, this is one of the few controllers that have support for Call of Duty Mobile, companies have found ways to get around it. Or if you already have one of the newest, latest and greatest phones, you can just play Call of Duty Warzone, which basically supports all mobile controllers. So it's kind of like you took away one of his bragging rights, because Call of Duty Warzone is like one of the biggest mobile games out right now, even though it does like burn up your phone. Yeah, the Backbone controller is a good solid controller. Would I pay for the yearly fee of $40 extra a year for all the paid features? Be honest with you, no. Am I going to use this on my PC? No. I got plenty of other controllers I can use on my PC. So these are my thoughts on the Backbone controller. So yeah, a solid 6 out of 10. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. If you made it this far in the video and you found this video helpful, you should do me a favor and hit that like button for me. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also hit that notification bell so that way you guys will know when I release my next controller review. As you see now, I'm slowly starting to get into the mobile gaming scene, so I'm reviewing a lot more mobile controllers. I have like a plethora of mobile controllers that are just sitting in the drawer that I figured, like, well, you know what? Let me review them, because it seems like mobile gaming is starting to make more of a rise. So why not review mobile controllers? But don't worry, I'm also going to be reviewing all the PC gaming controllers as well, so you don't have to worry about that. You're gonna have more PC controller reviews coming, more mobile gaming controller reviews coming, and yeah, just look forward to the video. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.